Hello and welcome back. It's Confessions from the Dark Side and it's Confessions from the Front Seat of the Impala. Yes, yes, it's a supernatural discussion and breakdown series, and I am Darkside Darkness. Hello and welcome back. And we are about to discuss and break down season 7 of Supernatural. So let's get the disclaimer out of the way, shall we? First, we are full of so much adult content. Some of you may think this is unnecessary, and some of you may think that this is needed. If you are one of those people, then thanks for checking us out, but I will say this only once. If you can't stand the heat, then get the fuck out of my kitchen. Now, for everyone else who likes what we have here, then regular scheduled programming will continue. Shall we get started? Are we ready? So, today I invite you to sit back and take in confessions from the front seat of the Impala while I break down and pull apart each and every episode of season 7. And what's your favourite season of Supernatural? And what is your least favourite season? And why? No spoilers if it's after season 12, please. Thank you. So we have a wee season 6 recap. Foghat playing Slow Ride, which is a really easy song, but I love it. As I continued experiencing the Supernatural universe, angels are dicks, so are demons, but again, they cannot be trusted or their word to be taken in any sort of truth, because if they want to, they can make you disappear, they can end you, and just a word of warning, do not trust either heaven or hell when it comes to you as a human and your safety and the safety of all mankind, as you've already lost. The twist of season 6, Granddaddy Campbell coming back when Sam was brought back by whom? Well, Crowley and Cass, a dynamic duo that you never thought you needed. Well, we did, and it's out there now. But they brought back Sammy soulless, and he was, well, we seen what having no soul can do. Then he got it back through the big brother Dean doing everything to help and protect his brother, even though he trusted him less, that's for sure. We got to see some of the cool alphas, the original first of the monsters, and we got to meet their mother Eve, who briefly returned. It took more sacrifice to bring her there than it actually did to destroy her. She was supposed to be a main big bad character, yet didn't survive for as long. It was quick, very painful, but she decided she wanted to create chaos, and it didn't last long. What a relief. Cass and his bad decisions. Sam is here, but no one's in control. Bow down or I'll destroy you, Cass, to everyone. And here we are, season 7. Hold on tight. So the first episode is called Meet the New Boss. And what's the point if you don't mean it? As Bobby, Dean, and Sam are reluctantly bowing down to him, which is Castiel. He's no angel, he is our god apparently, because he had taken on all the burden of the souls from purgatory, and they are actually housed inside Cass. Empty threats, rise up or I would strike you down. Be thankful for my mercy. Now, Cass is kind of a douche at this point, has too much power, and therefore he thinks he's almighty, all powerful, and he actually is not. But he has to learn that for himself. Again, actions have consequences and all that. Castiel disappears, and then they all look like, what the fuck happened? Sam is a nosebleed. He's messed up, and he's actually not fixed. He's been semi-fixed, and Castiel chose to bring him back this way, apparently. I think it was kind of to keep him on the hook, to be honest, and always needing his help. Castiel, I am your father now. Be obedient children, or this will be your fate. This is the new day on earth and in heaven. Rejoice. Enter the supernatural screen, which is kind of like it's black and white this, well, it's white and black this season. Dean is shouting, "Come on, baby," and he's talking about the Impala. So far, diddly. Bobby talking about keeping his ears open for anything like miracles and things that obviously would stand out to them. But they are fucked and they have no idea to take this. No one does, for fuck's sake. They've never actually came across Leviathan, so this is what the full of season 7 and probably part of season 8 is actually about. Dina's going to fix baby until Sam wakes up, and they will glue him back together too. This ain't no book. Dean to Bobby. Sam cannot remember what has happened when he wakes up. He was an asshat. Sam feels as if he's being watched. Eerie sounds are playing, kind of giving that creepy view. Reverend is pointing at the sky and saying he needs to speak up for God. Cass tells the congregation of this faith, do you know where your genitals have been? Or do you know where his genitals have been? In great Cass fashion, saying that they're representative of the religion isn't who he. Castiel is screaming he is a new god. the Lord. Then a voice tells him he's being careless. I wonder why he got very dictatory very, very quickly. Sam keeps seeing visions of what looks like hell, which I'm not surprised. He was young and sexy and wore a raincoat, lol. That's what women in the TV describe Castiel as: young, sexy, and wore a raincoat. Lots of random news that Cass is trying to recreate a better world on all different news channels. Cracked your gourd like it was nothing. Nancy Sinatra is playing These Boots Are Made for Walking, and it's Crowley, and Cass has found him. You look stressed. Ah, bollocks, is Crowley's reply. You fancy a drink before you smite me? Cass has plans for Crowley and he won't kill him. He said he will choose who stays and who goes. Crowley asks if this is a negotiation. He says no. And then he accepts. Is there any other reason why we wouldn't accept? Because he didn't know what Cass can do and what he's capable of now, because he's not just an angel. And he's just the king of hell, a demon, after all, who was once human. More hallucinations of torture and hell and someone laughing. Sam, what have you taken, puppy? This is what happens when you don't bend the knee to a mentalist. That was once a friend, also known as Cass. She's looking considerably good, Bobby, about the Impala. Bobby and Dean are discussing Sam, the elephant in the room, and he overhears them eavesdropping on them, but he Dean has hope. He knows that they never catch a break. Bobby and Dean summon Crowley. New boss, Giraffe, Crowley. You want me to conspire? No, we want you to stand there and look pretty. Death and destruction all around him, so closer to God than Castiel himself. He has cured a blind man, as Cass said. He's a true believer. He's a homeless man, and he puts his hands on him and he heals him. Castiel is changing because his body isn't strong enough for all those souls, and to be the new savior, the souls are trying to get out and destroy him from the inside out. Was freaky as fuck in there. Act of God. Crystallized for everywhere. Ingredients for unusual and rare spell. Excuse me, do you have any grey poop on? Again, that was Dean, and it's also from Wayne's World. Dean is caught, and he says he doesn't want to get hurt, and he doesn't want to hurt the guy, and he says, I am the one with the gun now, tied up. They get to it. They start the spell right there, and Sam has a takeaway bag with a shake. It looks like for death. He loves greasy food, death, if you can remember. He loves pizza and stuff. Bobby is summoning, and the house is shaking. Dean, hello, death. Death, you gotta be kidding me. You have bound me. Death is pissed. I want you to kill God. Dean says that Death told him he could kill him. Castiel cannot kill Dean, Bobby, and Sam, as Death is controlled by them. Long before God made angels and humans, he made the Leviathan. He is the one thing membrane between both worlds. Petty vendettas. Castiel has some testicles now. He swallowed the mother load pretty much. Dean asks Death to kill God / Castiel. Then he's unbound. Death thinks the little angel is arrogant. They have to compel him and get him to give up the souls and return them to purgatory. Death going to create another eclipse for the occasion because he has that power. 3:59 a.m. Be punctual. Clean up your mess. Bind me again. You will die before you start. Nice pickle chips, by the way. Cass is struggling with power and he's making bad decisions between judge, jury, and executioner. Sam talks to Cass, looking at the sky, looking for help, but he believes he still is their Cass. Dean is watching some risky animated adult content and drinking. Castiel has shown up, fucked up, covered in blood. Also, the meat suit is failing. He needs help, he said. Because they told him that. Balthazar did say that he wasn't supposed to be the vessel, so therefore, you know, his body was going to fail, basically. It's basically a bomb he becomes from the way they've described, because his body is not set up that way. Castiel feels regret and everything he did to him and Sam. He said he was strong. If he was strong enough, he would heal him. Does it make you feel better? Dean to Cass. Cass to Dean, no. Sam sees this for a long time, no spinning. Lucifer is saying everything is going nuts, so this is his best torture yet, and that he's yanking the wool over his eyes and said, you're still in the cage with me, or is he? Bobby says, hang on in there to Cass, but Sam is missing. The virgin's blood is there, but Sam is not. Dean has drawn the sigil upon the lab as before, and now they are chanting Castiel is very weak. Cass apologises once more to Dean because before he goes through the portal, the wall starts to break down, and the light, what they saw before, of the souls entering, did the same when they went back But the catch is, Cass ain't breathing. He's gone, Dean, Bobby says. Where's Sam? Where did he go? That was unpleasant. Cass says this when he wakes up randomly. He thanks them, he says he's ashamed and he wants to redeem himself. They have possessed his meat suit and they are strong. You need to run now, they're alive and haven't left. This is the build up for the first episode where basically the Leviathan need a way to escape. And this is where again we lose our first big character of the season, quite early on in fact. This is going to be so much dun dun. Then a killing joke, light laugh, and a black set of veins travelling up Castiel's neck, but he's not Cass anymore. Episode 2 of Season 7, Hello Cruel World. Again, Cruel World is a song by a band called Cold. Maybe not the same, but you never know. Recap all about Sam, lists for the cage, everything the wall, and he's in the cage, or is he not? Castiel and all about the Leviathan and how they've taken over his body, how Castiel's body's not strong enough, and the black substance dripping out of the vessel, which is Cass, which is pretty much them coming out of him. We know that they're made up of this black goo anyway. Dean asks how many ass clowns are there? Hundreds. They have decided to redeem themselves as the vessel is about to fail and explode. Lucifer is like, "You're my little bish, Sam." So he's messing with him inside his head, and he can manifest himself and do anything to make him think that he's still in the cage and that he is literally living, not living in our world. He's living obviously in the cage with him and being tortured still. So this is why they end up in the water supply, because Castiel explodes near the lab and he goes into the water, and it's the lake, and that lake obviously water is connected to, it can end up anywhere. So you can imagine Leviathan will start popping up everywhere, and they seem to think that it's only in America, but it would end up everywhere if it goes into the waters and the lakes and the ocean and stuff like that. If they want to get somewhere, they will get somewhere. They have a highway to anywhere Bobby to Dean, which is true. At this point, first time I saw, I was like, "You fucking kidding me? You killed off the monotone savage one? No fucking way." That's what I feel like every time I watch this season, because even though I know what happens up to season 12, I'm still get people still forget that they do this, and they were, I don't think they were liked for it particularly well because they killed off so many of the good like hunters and the good actual characters they had created in the series before. So there's probably a lot of hatred in the community that is supernatural. Well, there's a car wash and people filling up jugs of water at home, people drinking from the fountains, and then they have a wee bit of a shake and a seizure type episode, and then they're inhabited in a body, and this is how they start and they try and take over. Because not only do they go in, they actually become the person, and they usually kill off the original, as we find out. Sam is very messed up, no shit. Lucifer is like Patrick Swayze and Ghost. They like all the annoying parts, like where he comes and annoys like Whoopi Goldberg, because Whoopi Goldberg's the only person who can actually, hear him and see him. So he's kind of like that. Ooze invasion. Sam says he's not okay and he apologises to them both. He said it's not just flashbacks, it's more like he's seeing through the cracks, meaning I have a difficult time figuring out what's real and what's not. He's been trying to write it out. Sam has admitted he's seeing Lucifer. Sam is also looking to his left, and Dean is asking him, "Are you seeing him right now?" And that Lucifer says the same thing about Dean. A surprise eclipse. No one knows why. Themes: the first sign of the Leviathan is loving a show that talks about removing organs and smells about it. Creepy wee girl they chose for the opening, as we know about creepy wee girls. There's always something not right. So the Leviathan are making themselves comfortable and killing everything. Jodie's having a procedure done, which is Sheriff Mills, who is friends with Bobby, who is from Sioux Falls. And she's in hospital. In this episode, she's getting her appendix out, and then the Leviathan decide to climb into a surgeon's body, and it's at Jodie's hospital, and they try and sedate her so she cannot move. But she gets the boys there. She gets Bobby to come because she's like kind of drugged up for surgery, obviously trying to get a good night's sleep. And she notices that something is completely fucking off. So she basically phones Bobby because in all else fails, phone Bobby, yes. Dean is at a crime scene and it's for the sports team. Joey sees the surgeon call himself Dr. Sexy and trying to put the other patient under. Dean has called Sam to tell him that the Leviathan they can jump in and out of people. Lucifer is trolling Sam as he is not having an okay day, and his response is he's having a great day. Sarcasm. Jodie also Daisy says not weird at all, but she goes and investigates anyway. and they see the surgeon eating a woman's liver. Now they realize that they can be doctors and they can work in these sorts of fields, like important places, as you do when you come in, like any sort of species that tries to take over any sort of planet or humanity or race. They will go for people of power and people that they can actually use to manipulate, sway, and in this case, eat other people, humans, basically sustenance, because we are their food at the end of the day and we are not at the top of the food chain on land. It seems that the Leviathan, that's what they are trying to be. So don't make me go back in there. The surgeon and the doctor sedate Jodie again. She pulls out the IV and she says she ain't listened to Dr. Monsterface. It ends when you cannot take it anymore, Lucifer to Sam. So basically Lucifer is trying to basically break down Sam to the point where he's got nowhere to go and he's just going to say take me over, which is again manipulation and abuse. Bobby asked if he's having a little bag lady moment. Is that a senior moment? Is that the version of senior moment as little bag lady in America? Bobby says he believes in Sam and he will get out of this. Lucifer stabs Bobby in the head, not really, but it's like in Sam's imagination. Phone rings and it's Bobby's. It's local, and it's Jodie telling him about the other patient, and she tells him to come get her before he eats her. The infiltration of the town and the city, and they have learned so much about what each human does and what they can do if they take people in power so that they can be used for what they need and no one will even know. Exactly what I just said. So Bobby rescues Jodie. Bobby goes back into the morgue and the patient went for foot surgery and the body has already been put through an autopsy already. Dean compares Sam to Martin, who was a hunter in the previous season who went mental and he kept seeing things and he ended up mentally ill. That's what he said. He's surprised from what they see on a regular basis that they don't have some sort of mental instability or they have something up with them, because they do see things that people don't even dream about, the stuff they see you don't want to dream about. I can only imagine. Dean cannot find Sam. They should put a bell on him. And Dean says Sam is out of control with dealing, and Dean laughs at him. Morning Star, the company is called. Sam thinks he has come to a job with Dean and it's Lucifer and he's shooting at nothing. Bobby shoots at the surgeon and all the ball bearings come out at him and he says he knows who Bobby is and says Bobby Singer. Lucifer. Sam is very suggestible. Dean, you don't know what isn't real. He says that torture and hell is a different feeling. Dean is trying to show what he understands, but he's hanging like a Fred. Bobby is telling Sam that Silver did nothing and that the hospital is very there, meaning the Leviathan are there. Sam is saying nothing. Dean says baby steps. See, Dean is being daddy and brother again, and everything all at once, and try and protect Sam until they can fix him. Bobby's house has been burnt to the ground, but Bobby has his underground bunker. That would be fine though. Dean has left a sad and angry message on Bobby's phone as they cannot contact him. All I keep thinking about is Bobby's stuff, all his books, his library. Edgar is at the auto park at Bobby's and Dean shoots him right through the side of the head, and all it does was piss him off because we find out that shooting them with silver bullets and shooting them doesn't do anything. It's kind of like T-1000. They just keep coming. They just will not fucking stop. They land a car on him and crush him. Sam is knocked out, but Dean has a broken leg. Ambulance comes in again to the hospital. They asked them where they're going. They say Sioux Falls, and they said anybody but there, but they still fucking take him there because they're dicks. Lucifer says he's not real, but he ain't going anywhere because he's pretty fucking comfy being in his head and trolling the fuck out of Sam because Sam is gullible as fuck. So, season 7, episode 3, The Girl Next Door. Recap: Death, Leviathan, Cass, Sam and Lucifer. Edgar Swashi alive. What actually kills them? At this point, we do not know. Lucifer admits he's not real and Sam isn't in a good way. Dean hears some random noises. They reset his leg. He comes to and they've taken him to the Leviathan hospital. Really? What the actual fuck? Dean tries to get out of bed and he says to Bobby in a suit, by the way, that monster broke my leg. Bobby is away to get Sam and tells Dean to go to the ambulance depot. The surgeon knows the Winchesters are in the hospital, and if you're wondering why they know, when they were in cast, they could see everything, so they're aware of the people that were in front of them, like Crowley, for example, Sam, Dean, and whoever they came into contact with, because they were seeing people through cast, and they obviously can access things in people when they've been in them, so they can access their memories, and that's why they can easily take over, because they're not just taking over their body, they're taking over their memories and everything like that. They make their way. Bobby has Sam saying he's taking him to county. They have noticed that they are gone. Bobby is waiting on Dean and he jumps in front of the ambulance and they get away. New title screen, Black Goo, but it's like a little bit of smoke as well. They're watching a Spanish soap opera. It's Dean and Bobby's thing. Leviathan are shapeshifters that nom you. Yeah, pretty much. Everywhere is weird and strange. Dean says ground control to Sam, which again is from Bowie Ziggy Stardust, referring to him as being a spaceman, like he's out of it, he's not of this world. Bobby the paranoid one has made copies of all his books and his research, so we're safe, which is again, Bobby and his paranoia and his productivity organization always works out well, and we are happy for that. Bobby's just awesome. Bobby heal on a curve. Sorry, people heal on a curve, Bobby about Sam. Bobby is going to check in, and once he gets any sort of clues, news, etc., will contact him. Dean's leg is still in a cast, so he can't even drive. Sam went out to get supplies. Sam uses a credit card with Lemmy Kilminster. And again, the Leviathan are really aware of the different aliases that the boys use. So it flags up in a credit card system, but they look for fraud and things like that. And the Leviathan phones Edgar and says who we thought were dead, but Edgar is not. And now they are close by, so they know exactly where they are and they're just looking for him. Dean isn't happy about the cake he brought him because he's all about the pie in more ways than one. Flashback to Sam when he's speaking to Dean, and it's because of the ice pick killer, and his dad tells him to, well, he's not sure, but he seems to be getting the blame because he hasn't found any answers. So Sam's taken off. Sam's decided to act like the FBI again, and there is a pierced mark behind the neck of one of the victims, which they left out, but Sam knew it because this is a case from when he was a kid, when he was a teenager, that his Daddy Douche, had sent him to resolve, get answers so they could kill it. Now, this is a thing from Sam's past. It's a girl that her name is Amy, and her mother is actually the monster, and they take the hypothalamus, they drain that, and Amy has a son, and she's going out and killing. She's a mortician, basically, so she eats the hypothalamus of dead people, obviously, for herself, but her son got sick and he needed fresh, obviously they needed something fresh for him to actually heal him and make him better, but now that's what he seems to need. Dean finds out that Amy is the monster and the monster that's killing people, and Sam thinks that Dean hasn't killed her, but Dean has, because at the end of the day, she's a monster, and he had to protect everybody else. The wee boy, her son, finds out and basically says that he's going to grow up, get strong, and come for Dean. And Dean's like, expects that basically from the wee boy. The Leviathan who actually reports the boys to Edgar about, using the credit cards, he actually is in the gas station and the guy asking all questions. And then he gets that natural cheese stuff and he pours it all over the guy and says, do you know what makes people taste better? And everything is natural cheese. He's trying to tell the Winchesters, the wee stalker, so he can be like number one Leviathan, hunter type thing. Dean is worried about Sam going all to Lululand with Lucifer and how Sam was being secretive and how he's not showing very trustworthy behaviour, but it's Sam, it happens. He does that. So episode 4 is called Defending Your Life. Recap: Sam and his delulu mind and visions. Sam from the last episode, Dean has killed Amy and hasn't revealed this to Sam. Ultimate betrayal or Joel just in a day's work. This episode is based around judge, jury, and executioner Egyptian god Osiris. Now, if you don't know anything about Osiris, Osiris believes that he is the judge, jury, and executioner, and he weighs out your guilt and your fear, is it? Your guilt by a feather. So he's going after people that he thinks shouldn't be alive because they haven't paid the ultimate price with their death for the crimes and heinous acts that they have committed in their life. So people are just randomly taking and being killed. And it's like a guy had killed someone years ago. He'd shot them in a robbery. He'd been to jail for his crime and he was out, but he still sees the faces of his victims and he is taken out. And the boys try to save him, but again, you can imagine, doesn't work. Sam needs babysat a lot in this season because, well, Lucifer, shit, soul, wall, etc. Dean actually is taken. Osiris is a very authoritarian figure. So Sam decides to be Dean's lawyer. They bring one person from Sam's past. Sam and Dean's past, and it is they bring Joe, who was Ellen's daughter, who became a hunter, and Dean. Out of everybody, I think that he's either killed or has been killed on his watch. I think he's similar to, well, Daddy Douchebag. His Daddy Douchebag was the reason why Joe's dad and Ellen's husband was killed. All to do with the fact that he was bait and the monster killed him. So he took away Joe's dad from her. And now Dean has to suffer the guilt and loss of not only losing Joe, but her mother Ellen, because Ellen decided to go out with her daughter. She is asked a bunch of questions and asking, like, what kind of relationship they had. She said that she looked up to him. He was like a role model to her. Objections are denied, witnesses, etc. Sam argues that everybody should have counsel. It's part and parcel of being a hunter. People die. Jo admires Dean like a mentor, but she idolized her father, and that's why she wanted to be a hunter. Was it hard, Osiris to Jo? I'm not sure. He's speaking about how it was to work with him. Sam speaks to Jo. She's Sam's witness right now. She admits she has daddy issues. This is Dean's bread and butter. This is like an episode of Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, Dean to Sam. It just doesn't feel real at all. Sam's on the stand and Osiris says Sam almost had it happily ever after, and then Dean showed up to ruin it, explaining that he took him away from his happy life at Stanford, free for Jessica, who looked for their dad and bring him into hunting, and then he ended up losing everything, and ever since then his life has been shit. So trying to blame Dean for a life story that we know has already been written by the prophets of heaven, so all this shit has already been written, so it's already going to fucking happen. So in my honesty, Osiris has got it wrong. It's not actually Dean's fault. Dean was only doing what this story basically had been written for him had been, in my honesty there. Did you kill Jo? No, she took herself out and she did it. She didn't listen to him. She retaliated against Hellhounds and she got fucking attacked after he told her not to fucking do it, but she did it fucking anyway because she thought she was fucking better and she could fucking handle it. No, she fucking couldn't. So she fucking killed herself. She signed her own death sentence, and this is what annoyed me about the whole Cyrus thing, that he didn't take that into account. It's because he goes on what your guilt and what you're feeling, and that's because he holds tremendous guilt for her death. Enough Ally McBealing, that's what Dean says. Dean has been sentenced to die by the hands of Osiris. Like everybody, I don't think anybody wins. Sam finds the artifact that can help with Osiris. Jo shows up where they're staying, and basically she's going to kill him, basically. Dean keeps seeing Jo, then Osiris is stabbed with the artifact and everything is done. Dean is alive, Jo is gone, and Osiris has been taken out, finally. Jo's kind of hot though, even though she's undead. She's really, really pale looking and she looks like really hot, so... Or she's like, Dean doesn't understand why Cyrus didn't come after Sam, as he should be feeling guilty, but Sam doesn't feel guilty for his past because he's come to terms with it and he can start to move on with his life. So that's why they didn't Cyrus didn't come after him, because his guilt, he's already overcame it. Dean asks if he can have a stash of the happy pills he's taking, because he didn't know about that, what that sound like. He's like, hand them over, share. They chat at the end in Winchester fashion. Episode 5, Season 7, Shut Up, Dr. Phil. We all want to say that Dr. Phil is a bit of a douche. So, recap, Leviathan, nothing can kill them. Dean's guilt for killing Amy. Jazzy music playing in a hairdressing salon and a horrible woman being a douche, and she goes under that weird, heated thing where, proof she'll die. And then, do you like your woman extra crispy? Because that's where she comes out. Dean's reliving Amy's last words before he kills her. He wakes up scared and in shock. When will he be enlightened, Sam, that he killed his friend? Dean having some hunters help her, no doubt. That helps with the sleeping, which is bourbon, any alcohol even. Sam has been out running. Dean says he stinks. Dean is reading out weird deaths like boiling in a hot tub and beehive hairdryer thing. I think those things feel really nice by him. Leviathan stalker grabbing an unhappy male on the road as he's following the boys. Does he not realise that there's two of them and he may end up messed up? A nail gun that isn't plugged in but manages to kill a man. Fried, boiled, or kebabbed, referring to the victims and their demise, and a Romanian coin. So, another bunch of dead foliage like it happened with the magical forces at play, as this a clear indication that there is foul play and of the supernatural variety. Spike is still hot and he is not flirting, but he's just being kind and nice to his assistant about the cupcakes. So, right, now I understand what this episode is. It's because it's one of the ones I really liked. Spike and Cordelia are Chris Carpenter and James Marsters from Buffy. They were in this episode. They're ancient witches. They are married. They are jealous because apparently they both haven't been very loyal to each other throughout the centuries, apparently. So this is about them showing how much they love and they hate each other for. They love each other so much, but they hate each other for their past mistakes, their past regrets. And Charisma Carpenter, well, Cordelia, she is just She kind of gives me like she kind of is stuck. They've kind of made her like Cordelia here, like she's a woman scorned because she did play that kind of character in Buffy as well, Xander when he caught cheating. So she holds a big fucking grudge, and it's 100-year old, hundreds and hundreds of it's like centuries old, basically many centuries old grudges about things that they've done over the time. But they're going after people like they put hearts in cupcakes and stuff, and just weird. Dean and Sam basically almost get done in by her as well. Again, it's a good episode. It's filler, but they just keep putting like random Leviathan stuff in it, so it's not filler, but technically it's filler until the end. It's mostly just like a recap of what happened to the last season because the same guy's following them and stalking them. Sam is in agony, and so is Dean. They're both being tortured by the couple, Meg, and so basically their love is eternal. And Dean and Sam are like therapists trying to get them to talk to each other and actually realise what they're doing is fucking wrong. If they hate each other and they want to part ways, or if they love each other and they're angry with each other, fucking talk about it. The boys come back into their hotel room and the Leviathan guy is there. Maggie had hexed him and and then Spike came to save them basically, and he took out the Leviathan guy, but it won't last for long. Boys have put him in the trunk and asked Bobby to find some place for him. Ron, who is the Spike's character in this, he basically takes out the Leviathan guy. But again, this is the first time someone's been managed to take him out at all. Nothing else has worked. So he takes him out so they can get away, but they put him in again. They're taking him somewhere so Bobby can have a chat. Episode 6 slash fiction. The Leviathan and how Dawn took one out for a bit. Dean's guilt, Sam's issues with reality. The brothers have had their identities taken by Leviathan. Sound familiar again? Flagging up in the FBI after murder and bank robbery, because that will do it. How are my two favourite musicals? Bobby is trying to find what hurts them by experimenting on them, as you do. The boys are being tracked by all Leviathan. When they were in cast, they found out about everything. Their Leviathan prisoner isn't scared of them. The boys have had their DNA stolen from whenever. They are wearing our faces. This is personal. If you're going to go about it, then be smart, Bobby to the boys. As everyone has seen their faces, and the world we live in now, they wouldn't stand a chance with the amount of cameras everywhere and surveillance. Boys end up going to see a guy that Bobby knows called Frank, and he's super paranoid, but he's like crazy, like savant with technology. He is a paranoid man, and he has helped Bobby out a few times. He cocked his gun, obviously not in his good books. As he said, Bobby sent him. The guy's a full-blown tin hat brigade, but again, that's a good thing. He's basically me. Big Brother is always watching when he's not, well, he's not wrong. Sam's laptop gets smashed because, again, it can be tracked. Bobby is torturing the guy and he is enjoying it. Of course he is. Bobby gets irate and takes his machete and takes his head off. Decapitation, but I think his body has to be separated, though. I think that's what stops him coming back. You've got to make sure the head and the body are not close together, basically. Jodie appears with beer. She came to thank Bobby for saving her from death. Bobby says, I'm just doing my job. Jodie says, let someone be nice to you for once, because he's a grumpy old man. But we love Bobby. Boys dump baby and this music is sappy rock air supply. I'm all out of love. And Dean knows the words and Sam's face is like, what the fuck? I'm like, you are singing along, that means he secretly loves it and listens to it. It's probably his guilty pleasure. Sam is working on something. He got a flash and then they're doing things in order of how they started after Stanford. So they want to be found. Dean is in the place with the best burgers, but the doppelgangers, and they are complaining about how Sam is mental, and Dean thinks he's funny, but he likes his hair apparently. Sam and Dean, I will execute each and every last one of those people in the diner. So beheading them, taking them out for a short time. You have a chick over there. Jodie is heard in the background. Are you even working over there, Patrick Swayze? How about not hitting the same town or city like they found out last season, yet it's okay now? Because they're chasing them. They've announced that they're going to be an eye on it because they want to be caught. They want the boys off their tail. Bobby's now a victim to the Leviathan and Bobby says balls. Again. Bobby says Bobby is £10 of sad in a £5 bag. What an insult, man. Try using that when you insult someone else. Boys have been caught by the local police. Bobby got the machete. Man's reach should exceed his grasp. Bobby's to Bobby the doppelganger. Then there's something leaking from the floor above when Jodie's cleaning, and it's burning the Leviathan. This is where we find out that borax, the cleaning solution, however, that's in cleaning products, actually causes them problems. So cleaning the bad, the darkness, is what actually can take them out, and it doesn't take them out completely. It just slows them down and it hurts them. Sammy, not Sammy, Leviathan boy, they are strong, aren't they? But you've got to keep the head separate. Bobby kisses Jodie because it's the first time that they've actually had something positive for the doppelgangers, or for the Leviathans. There's a crazy governor and his name's Richard, but he's a dick and they refer to him as Dick. And you'll find out in this season they use the word Dick a lot because Richard and Dick. Dick is short for Richard, and Dick is a dickhead and he's an asshole. And no one likes Dick, although apparently everybody loves Dick. Well, that's what Dean says a lot. So to get away from, I think, swearing in this shitty fucking story this season, I think they just put that in as a wee bit to make you laugh because it was horrendous this season. Dick Roman in his limo, Crowley is there. He brought muffins and he says they're organic and gluten free. He's being nice. But it's Crowley, a motive there. Crowley, we should be friends. Crowley, I brought you here. Don't roofie me and call it romance. That's a punchline right there. Your demons are ugly and gold digging whores. Worse than humans, and Dick will never work with Crowley. He's not happy. Keep the muffins, and he disappears. Sam is still acting like a dick. Dean is here to help Sam. Sam says, kind of like what you did to Amy. The other Sam informed him when he was in jail that he did that after lying to his face. He now knows that killed Amy. For doing his job, and guess what Sam says to Dean to go on without him, like the whiny pain in the arse he is. Season 7, episode 7, The Mentalist. Again, guilt for Dean killing Amy, Sam finding out about it, Sam feeling like he's cheated and because he liked his face, the Leviathan. Brothers' bond is not as it seems, a rift putting them against each other once again when Sam is struggling. A seance conspiracy and non-believers, this is when people are being taken advantage of, and yet again people with no powers or talent, and then something gets through. Psychic got what she deserved, karma for taking advantage of the weak and the vulnerable, or in this case the greedy. Dean is on his own after everything with Sam and lying about everything. He's in tatters, the whole family, again. Dean is in a beaten up Dodge. He's posing as a solo agent. Dean has found a dictaphone tape recorder that the psychic used to trick people under the table in the special table with the knocker underneath. Dan and Sam are eating in the same healthy place, and he offers an olive branch and says we're working in the same case. It's better that we work together than making, part our ways or whatever. So Dean is actually, again, being the bigger person and not being a dick like Sam. They keep calling spoonbenders now. Dean called Sam a spoonbender in the first couple of seasons because of all the stuff to do with Azazel and things like that and his gifts. So we find out that the grandmother who was killed at the start, at the seance, her granddaughter has a gift, but she can just read people very well, that she's intuitive, it's not really a power. Basically, everyone has been taken out with gifts at a famous, well, not a famous time, like a really busy, important time in the town where lots of people just come for the psychic shows and the conventions. And we find out that it's the guy who's dodgy as fuck in the pawn shop because he is a proper psychic and he hates everything that's going on. He brought back a ghost, basically, a spirit that, again, was similar to him, had powers. Sister had powers, and he's controlling her, and she's taking out people. But he shows his real powers, etc. The Emporium, sorry, not the pawn shop. He seems to think that Margaret's in love with him, but Margaret doesn't give a fuck. You fucking woke her from her slumber, and you're getting her to do your dirty work for you. She's not loving you. She's not staying because she wants to fucking be there, and she would end up being a vengeful ghost, a vengeful spirit by the end of it. Sam, you were right about Amy. I get why you did it. You can't tell me you're okay when he isn't. He went in with his gut. He didn't trust her ever since Cass. He's not trusting anyone. Dean has admitted he doesn't like lying to him. Boys are having heart-to-heart. So filler with family bonding. Episode 8, season 7. Time for a wedding filler. Oh my god, this is the episode where Becky fucking trusts some guy who he's some party planner, thinking he's a good guy. He gives her a fucking potion. Becky is the super fan of the supernatural books. And she had a relationship with Chuck, but she was obsessed with Sam. Like, really fucking obsessed. Knew everything about the books, read them more times, and knew everything. So she's basically obsessed fan, Stan, as you would call her now. Or a bride, technically. She manages to get Sam up the aisle and marry him. Dean appeals and he's like, holy fuck, you're marrying Becky? What the fuck? This is obviously not right. Find out that, dun dun dun, the guy, the party planner, is actually yes, that's right. He is a crossroads demon. He's a demon who makes deals with people for their souls. Now, Becky is not aware of this. Even though she's read the books, she regrets to think about the stuff that's happened. She had a reunion to go to and she didn't want to look like a loser. She said she was a loser in high school, a loser now, and no one will ever love her like Sam, and that she did it so she could look good to her peers, who were obviously not very nice to her at school. It's drastic lengths to go to. But they contact Crowley, and he comes and he finds out that one of his flock is not doing their job. Yes, they're doing their job, but they're doing their job inaccurately, and they're actually cashing in the deals before they're ready, which Crowley says, we're demons, we have a deal, there is a contract, you must follow the rules. So Crowley takes said demon and he is going to punish him. He also talks about how asshole like Dick is, and how he doesn't trust the Leviathan. He only doesn't trust the Leviathan because Dick didn't want to fucking work with Crowley, and he's going to throw everybody under the fucking bus like a fucking petulant child, because that is Crowley, because he literally is just a petulant toddler. Pleasure gentleman Crowley leaves with the demon. Sam signs the divorce papers. Dean had to work with another hunter who ends up having a thing for Becky, and his name is Garth. And we know him from Road Trip, and he blinked her. I believe he says one of his famous lines. We see Garth again in this season, and I know he's in another season as well. Again, you can see that he wants to be like Dean, or as close to Dean like himself as he can, like totally thinks he's a hero. So that was episode 8. Episode 9 is How to Win Friends and Influence Monsters. Season 7, episode 9. Recap Leviathan and how Crowley hates Dick. Paranoia Man, which is Frank. Brotherly love and mutual mental health checks. That's what we like to hear. Why is it the couple on a bed with single sleeping bags? What the actual fuck? He's listening to noises of the forest and he's hanging upside down. It's very, very, very Friday the 13th, where Jason, ends up killing one of his victims, and it looks like a burrito. It kind of looks like that. You can imagine the nature sounds this was playing while the guy was being maimed by something. The boys are with Bobby talking about paranoia and cold and everything, and I'm like, no, I'm liking this. No. Dean and Sam try and put power in the crappy place they are in and fry it, as you do. Dean, what if the bus wants to go over the cliff? Dean talking about the world wanting to end. Jersey Devil, horns and a tail could be me. It could be. Missing people and also a wild bear. So there's a tax and they will blame it on wildlife, as they do, because again, we're humans and we don't fucking get what's really, really out there. This episode shows you the turducken burger. And the turducken burger is the first of many, many ventures that Dick, Richard Roman, is buying into. Why is he doing this? Why is he creating food? These delicious limited edition food? Yeah, because the food, when you eat enough of it, you look stoned. You become subservient, compliant, and you literally just walk to your death. Some of these people are overweight or somewise overweight, and they are eating these burgers, the turduckens, and they are losing all their weight, but then they are going rogue and then they're eating everything. And that is just killing everyone. So there is a lot of Leviathan stuff, but again, there's a lot of filler of shite in the background. It's the adrenal glands. And they're the size of a brain, which apparently they're not supposed to be. They find this out when Bobby decides to become doctor and open up one of the bodies that they found from one of the rangers. And there's this blackish grey goo inside them that's literally taken. It's kind of like taking all their insides and they're liquefied basically. And obviously that's what these turducken burgers do. And now Dean can't pass by a fucking burger now, can he? And he's so funny and he acts so stupid, and some of the things he comes out with is fucking hilarious, and it's typical how a stoner would speak. The burger has grey goo inside. If you don't eat them straight away, then this goo just randomly appears. And again, Dean is not happy because they're kind of addictive. They've put something in them that you want to continuously eat them. So again, it's another kind of Croatoan type test to see what they can do to the humans, what they need to tweak so they can have the perfect happy meal on the go, basically. That's what we find out that they're actually doing. They're wanting a sustainable food for the future, and so they can survive here. So that's what this episode is basically all about. World domination, how to survive in the world long term without being noticed. Again, they use borax to take out a bunch of them. Dean is hungry again. Dean is eating another Sudoku. Everyone is. Bobby and Sam have noticed. Everyone around them. Everyone is stupid. Everyone's acting stone. They go to see where the food's coming from and they follow it and they see Edgar, who did not get squashed and killed by a car at Bobby's auto yard. Bobby gives Dean a heart to heart, but if you die before I will kill you. Bobby's telling him, that if he dies before him, he's going to come for you. One of the powerful businessmen, like we said, congressman, whatever, governor, is the head of the Leviathans, and he's a dick, and his name is Dick. They find out what happens to people who eat the food that they've created. Dick isn't happy. He isn't liking the negative publicity because they said whatever they do, stay out of the news, and they didn't. And it's actually creepy Dr. Sexy that's in charge of this. Dick is about to is about to kill the creepy surgeon, we think, but he isn't. He makes them eat themselves, and that's what's called bibbing. They eat themselves. So Bobby's watching this and he's like, what the actual fuck, man? This is not what I signed up for. And they come in, Borax, and they slay them. Bobby tries to find out their plan. He finds a folder full of information. And just as he's about to leave, shoots, and then Bobby's been shot in the head. Now, I literally can't take this at this time. My Bobby. 9 episodes into season 7, they fucking kill off my man. How the fuck did they do this? So this is Death's Door. It's filler, but it's really about Bobby, his past, how he is now, how's he going to get this information that he found out to give to the boys so they can actually help with taking down the Leviathan and prevent any more the world ending. Recap. Dick is coming. Leviathan, Dick, and Bobby showdown, and also Bobby has been shot in the head. And you find out that Dick is a incredibly good shot, so he was never going to miss. So you knew where he was going to shoot him, and he knew fine well it was going to take him out. Tina's genuinely sad about it. He's proper losing it. Bobby is their dad. Might not biologically be their father, but he's the only father that they ever fucking needed. Bobby isn't breathing, but they're driving to get help. He's been shot. Bobby is in his own head and he's clinging to dear life. His wife and the boys. Bobby realizes something's up and he jots down some numbers in case he doesn't make it. Reaper said he's in a coma. Bobby is going to be wasting his time. He says what he's doing is okay, even if it's not his time. Bobby walks in and the brothers are arguing about Jet Li and Chuck Norris, as you do, because that's his favourite memory is the boys being silly, eating snacks, watching movies, and just being as his happy place for the boys. So he goes through and he gets to speak to Rufus because he goes back to different parts of his life where he's trying to overcome things. Because again, Rufus was killed by Bobby last season when he was possessed, so he gets to relive that. They talk about how he's going to outdo Death, a Reaper, so he can actually try and save what's going on right now. I just really hate this episode because of the trauma that Bobby's already been through. He has to go relive his wife saying you've literally broke me, Bobby, because Bobby doesn't want children because Dad kept saying everything you touch you break, that he's not capable of being a father, and then his wife becomes possessed a few days later and he has to kill her basically. So, and that's how he becomes a hunter and how he wants to help people, especially people who have had members of their family be tangled up in this and they never asked for it. So then it goes to Bobby where his dad is being physically abusive towards his mum. His mum is a victim of TV and so is he. And you find out that he shot his dad. And his mum said, what did you do, Bobby? What did you do? He fucking saved you at the end of the day. He saved his mother and all his mother gave a fuck about was the dad, the monster that they lived with. So even at a young age, he was told he was too soft and he was like more of a like as they were trying to say he's more like a mother's boy. He just wants to protect and be with his mum. And his dad obviously is jealous of that and his dad wants his son not to be that way. He wants him to be a bully like him, which is not Bobby at all. And he takes out his dad. The Reaper actually tells him he'll become a vengeful spirit if he stays, but he chooses to stay in the one memory that he has, which is with the boys. He manages to wake up slightly, give them the number that he took down, and he says idiots. She calls the boys because they're always being idiots, which in Scotland is Egypt. And then it's just that's him gone. And watching it again over and over again just doesn't get any easier. It was really, really sad. And you've seen the boys actually properly lose an important person in their adult life and how they say blood is thicker than water. It's not. In this case, Bobby was like their dad, their best friend, their boss, and that grumpy old guy that wants the best for you. And he's always giving you life lessons. He would literally take a bullet for you, and he did for them. He took a bullet for mankind, so he could find out information to help save the world and save as many people. And so Bobby is the underdog hero, the underdog hunter, and he is and forever will be the best hunter that this universe has ever. I'm still not over his death, and I don't think I ever will be. How were you when Bobby was killed off? Did you enjoy it? I didn't. He's smiling though, even though the boys are arguing about licorice and popcorn. Episode 11, Season 7, Adventures in Babysitting, the one without Bobby, the first one. Recap. Leviathan brothers fighting together in the petty grievances, Lucifer living rent free and trolling Sam, and Bobby's last days in Crowley. I hate I hate when they keep showing Bobby's death. I'm like, fuck you, haven't I suffered enough? Haven't we all suffered enough? It's about a revenge for Bobby, because Dick is a dick. Crowley did warn them. A guy in a restaurant that seems to be a hunter and he's been poisoned by a snake lady. This episode again showing a dad and a daughter, and how the daughter only has the dad and the dad only has the daughter, and the obviously checks in. These are called Vistala, and they kill in pairs, and they drain blood from their victims. So they use a truck stop to find their victims, etc. Because obviously it's easier to pick apart a lonely trucker. The girl phones what she thinks is Bobby's phone, and they get the boys. Sam goes to meet the girl to find out who she is. She's a bit cocky. She's really like Dean, I think, more, and has an answer for everything. Then Sam manages to get, well, captured. But they're drinking from him and they've not noticed that he's different. Now, he's been fed off of before by ghouls, and they noticed that he was different. So why didn't they? So that's it. Again, lizard people. It was a very David Icke episode. Dean gives Frank the numbers that Bobby gave him before he died. Dean challenges Frank and says they bleed black goo. He goes to shoot him, but Dean brings out a blade and cuts into him and says, "Red-blooded American, Frank," because he's paranoid. Frank is cheesing it on wanting to do it, and Dean says, "Fair's fair, douchebag. If he does it, you have to do it. Then how do we not know that you're not who you say you are?" Frank says he's had to downsize from where he was staying to be like is it a Winnebago type thing because Dick. I love how they keep using the word Dick, but by the time it gets to the end of the season, it gets a bit tiresome. The numbers are for a package for Dick Roman Enterprises, but Frank says they can set up surveillance and check. One of Dick's Roman staff has been at the coordinates surveying the land, because that's what they found, that Dick Roman has bought a significant amount of land and it's being surveilled by his people, and they keep going there. So Dean wakes up and he's like, "How long have I been asleep for?" And he's like, "36 hours. Why didn't you wake me?" "I am not your butler." Frank to Dean. One of Dick Roman's staff again, coordinating things. "Dean, I am not quitting." Frank says, "Being professional, do it right with a smile, or don't do it." This is what he's been doing for like 20 years. When he walked in and his wife and his kids slaughtered, and that's how he got into what he does now. The girl has called Dean, and now grumpy ass will have to go save his brother again, and the girl's very similar to Dean, a pain in the arse. He doesn't want to babysit a child who is annoying at being annoying towards him. Sam is winding up the Vitalas, saying he killed some younger ones and it made her mad. And they have a hold of the girl. The girl. Why are they so shit? They have stopped the end of the world, yet these two Vitalas managed to get in front of them. The girl kills Sally, who's one of the Vitalas, and Dean kills the older one. Save the day, almost killed everyone. Don't thank us. Get out. Stop. And be a regular family. That was Dean's advice to the lassie's father. "Thanks for saying bye, asshat," Chrissy to Dean. She's so like Dean, he cares, but wants her to be a kid. Episode 12, Time After Time filler. But it's a time travelling episode, yes, another pointless time travelling episode. But this time, Dean is sent to 1944. And this is actually based on Cronus, who is a god. Cronus is going about jumping through timelines. He's draining people so he can actually stay with the woman that he had fallen in love with. But Dean ends up in 1944 and working with the Untouchables, and he's literally reliving watching the movies and being with that guy. He didn't realize that the Untouchables in this universe, actually they were hunters, and they were basically hunting the things that, well, they hunt right now. And it's all about basically Dean getting back, or he's stuck basically. He has killed, Jonas has killed everyone basically for him to stay where he is. So his soulmate, she hates him for killing people. Sam is doing the ritual to bring Dean back and he's flashing red, and Ness takes the branch with him, which that's working with Dean. Dean to our time Sam, "Hey Cronus, what is the best you got?" and stabs him with a branch, and that is him. Red shit running through his body before he dies. He says, his future is black goo. They are everywhere. Enjoy oblivion. So right at the end, he basically tells him that the world is going to be Leviathan Central. The Slice Skittles filler, Dean becomes a dad. Now, this is based on, again, there's actually God episode back to back here, because it's talking about Amazonians, and now Amazonians are, again, created by Ares and the Amazonians, obviously. So, episode 13 of season 7, The Slice Skittles filler, Dean becomes a daddy, right? So, in this episode, they recap everything, Bobby's last words, everything, France tell him to do right, but I smell or don't do at all. Now, Dean kept Bobby's hip flask, which is important. So Dean goes to a bar and picks up a woman, which is Jenna from the Vampire Diaries, and he sees a baby talking way faster than it should. This is a secret society of Amazonian women, and at the time for mating, there's a 2-year window where they do a mating, and it's fast mating. It's what the gift the gods gave them when they were massacred, when they were helping the gods. So they can, for 2 years, they can replenish their stock of their warriors. But the babies don't stay babies for very long. The pregnancy lasts like 36 hours, and then the babies grow up. But the girls grow up and they must kill their father, their biological father. So you can imagine Dean's a hunter and he has impregnated this. And the AC/DC song they chose is "You Shook Me All Night Long." We all have days like this. So the Amazons, not like Wonder Woman, by the way, the actual proper lower Amazonian goddesses, basically. So to find out how to overcome what they are doing and what the Amazonians have, they made a deal with Harmonia to replenish their flock. Then every 2 years, like I said, different town, different women. They pick about the men they sleep with as well. They want to sleep with powerful men, rich, successful. Dean is like that on paper, but obviously not anything else. But he has things that those men don't have. He has charisma. That's what Dean has. The EMF is going nuts, and it's going nuts when Dean has the hip flask, so you can imagine. So they find out that Dean's bad decisions and lack of accountability for everything, he put them both in danger. There's a professor who's actually played by the mayor in Buffy, who talks about the different rituals and things like that this Amazonian tribe basically does to keep their flock strong. So it's kind of filler and probably pointless, but it kind of gave Dean a way to overcome what he was going through at that time. Have a wee bit of snoo snoo, and everything's fine. And snoo snoo again was used in Futurama by Amazonians, women in another planet who kidnap men for snoo snoo. Episode 14, Plucky Penny Whistle's Magical Menagerie filler. Where they talk about the Amazonians and all that shit as well. Basically, there's a guy using kids as drawings because of fear, killing the parents in the ways that the kids have drawn. Yes. Pointless. They're getting killed by the most randomest shit. And someone gets killed with like a shark attack in the ball pit of all things. Pointless episode. I hated it. It was really boring. Dean apologised for being a douche growing up. Sam got him a giant slinky because that's what he tries to get in the actual show, but he needed tokens to get prizes, not to buy them. Dean gets him a clown doll and then says it's clown sobriety chip because he's still scared of clowns, and the episode ends with a creepy clown laughing. A creepy clown laughing, even. Recap the walls, Sam's soul, Lucifer seeing Bobby more again. A wee bit of Lilith about a new boss in town, but this time it's obviously the Leviathan is really. This is the past, by the way. Dean sharpening a knife, and there's someone possessed by a crazed killer, and a wicked woman has helped him find the boy and track and capture. Now, this episode technically is filler, but it's showing you that yes, this person was possessed by a demon, but the evil was already in there in the human. The guy's name is Jeffrey. He was a postman and he was killing people on his route. And people assumed that it was obviously Dean and Sam and that woman. That was the demon that actually had this. And Jeffrey says that he had a list. The demon had a list and he said it constantly. No, the list was Jeffrey's. Jeffrey wanted to, well, kill these women. It was all women. I think it's very incel vibe type thing that obviously he couldn't get these women, so therefore he killed them for gratification, as you do. Sam and Dean already helped this guy and exorcised the demon, or did they? Because as we know, demons can jump anybody they want, but if they like the person, they seem to go back. Jeffrey is staying in a halfway house at this point. At this point, Lucifer is trolling Sam constantly, and he's in his brain, and like just trolling the fuck out of him like he's not in the real world type of thing, just more torture. The Wiccan lady who was in obviously the original, like it wasn't an episode, but the original like time frame, her son is being kidnapped by Jeffrey, and Jeffrey told her to make sure that the Winchesters would appear again, and he had them where he wanted them. So Jeffrey's a dickhead. He is evil. He was always evil. Lucifer is shouting at the end of this episode, "Good morning, Vietnam," and then laughing at Sam because Sam chose to let him in. Now he cannot stop him from coming back. Seriously, Sam, you dumbass. Because they were working together in this episode because he said he needed him because Dean wasn't there and he needed someone to help him out. So gullible Sammy, gullible Sammy. Now we know he doesn't fucking learn ever. Episode 16, Out with the Old, is filler and a goose chase. Recap Cursebox's Frank and his paranoia of Dick Roman and his companies and how they're building up to something. Lucifer is now able to appear whenever he wants to. There's that. So this is about cursed objects, and we've been through this before. Very Warehouse 13. Basically, there's a ballet dancer who's a bit of a bitch. In that world, they are very competitive. Again, we've discussed this about Black Swan. And this girl, this woman, ends up dancing her feet off and part of her legs because the ballet slippers are cursed. Anybody who puts them on literally dances till their death. There is a store that has all. So this woman has died who has all these collectibles, and she had a store. You find out the realtors are basically Leviathan, and they are buying up lots of different random properties, and they are also just fucking with the natural order of fucking things because they're Leviathan, and they've been trapped. They were trapped away for centuries, so they are now in a playground full of shit, and they just want to fuck with everything. So they found out that Dick has funded an archaeological dig. Many of these, they don't know what the fuck they're looking for, but we find this out later on what they're looking for, but it's literally he's in power, he has lots of money at his disposal, so he's doing everything he can in power to protect him, all the Leviathan, and also protect them in Earth so they can be there for a lot longer than we need them to be, basically. So everybody, cursed object, are fucking with people and killing me people, and that's basically what this whole episode is about. The realtor's name is Joyce and assistant's name is George. George is nice, even though he's Leviathan. He likes his body, he likes his life, he fucking hates his boss, Joyce. She's a bit of a douche, to be honest. Sam is told soak George in borax by himself, and so killing people isn't part of the agenda. And Joyce was very impatient. So George has told them basically killing people isn't what they're actually trying to do because they're trying to live there and be there and not want to, end up. They want to be the top of the food chain, put it that way. Dean wants to know what they are doing, doesn't everybody? It's not just here, it's everywhere. And way more ambitious. Keep your heads down and stay down. They are building a research centre to cure cancer. Why would Dick Roman want to cure cancer? It's not just cancer. Apparently, they want to cure everything like HIV, AIDS, anything, because they want to build. Sorry, they want to basically build the perfect human to eat. And if you're ill, then they can't fucking eat you. Then you're a waste, aren't you? So they're going to look like they are like doing good things for you, making you healthier, making your life better, prolonging your life, making your life exceptionally better so you can live better, etc. Franken isn't answering, that's never a good sign for someone who's so paranoid. And Bad Mood Rising is playing, it's blasting even, and there's glass and blood all over the place. And his Winnebago has been completely destroyed. Dean says, Sam, not good. Bad Mood on the Rise is the last line of the song, as Dean says, not good. So episode 17, there's 23 episodes in this season, yes, an extra one for this shit season, yes. Episode 17, The Born Again Identity. Recap, Lucifer screaming, "Good morning, Vietnam," Sam not knowing what's real and what's not, Ham having no control over it. Now, Sam kind of lucid and walking slash running unsure and seems to be unsure of his surroundings. And deliveries. So the born again identity, Sam gets himself into so much BS, so he does. And then again, Lucifer just can't stop talking to him. It's been 5 days of constantly staying awake. Now, for anybody who actually suffers with insomnia, I know I personally do, it can be incredibly difficult to get to sleep and stay asleep. And even when you are sleeping, doesn't feel like you're getting enough sleep. So it is weird. And it's incredibly difficult to actually overcome insomnia. Even medication doesn't help. Believe me, everybody tries these things, it doesn't always work. There's some really good lines in this. I am inside you, Sam. Lucifer to Sam, for one. He's seen things and he's imagining things, and so it's really fucking with him. So not only has he got the fact that he's not sleeping, he has Lucifer fucking with him to the point where he doesn't know if what he's seeing is like hallucinations from not sleeping or if it's real or Lucifer's doing it. So being a hunter in this world, it's incredibly difficult for this to do something like this to a hunter who needs to be thinking straight, especially when they have so much going on. They have their jobs that are happening right now, and they have the bigger picture, which is all the stuff to do with Leviathans and the end of the world again. So it's not a good place to be in Sam Winchester's head right now, not even for Sam. He's messing with drugs and alcohol, and he is losing grip on reality. No shit. He's been in an accident and he's now in a psychiatric facility, and Dean cannot see him because the doctor has told him that he's on a 72-hour hold because he's a danger to himself and other people. Again, no shit. He was literally crazy. Like a crazy, apparently. Lucifer's everywhere. Can't do anything about him. He knows that it's 11 days, apparently, with no actual sleep or rest, that someone has actually died. So he has like 6 days or something like that. Lucifer has the same reaction when the boys have moments of sarcasm. It's real, it's so funny. He said, throwing a soul into Lucifer's dog bowl, this is the consequences you have when you deal with getting your soul back and going to the cage and everything like that. So again, things from season 5 and 6 are still like floating over to our world, basically, and his. So Lucifer is reading a mental health journal book, going through all the different personality traits, and he's ripping the piss out of them, saying he could have narcissistic personality disorder, and he's reading out all the fucking symptoms and stuff and traits. I know it shouldn't laugh at that, but he's just going, I could be narcissistic and have a personality disorder. It's hilarious. So Dean is trying to reach out to anyone and everyone to get Sam help, as he does every time, because gullible Sam just does this to himself. Lucifer is torturing him and causing him distress. He wants Sam to engage with him, and he says it's just like the cage. What, Nicolas Cage? Again, this episode shows how talented an actor that Jared is, making us believe he's losing his mind. Emmanuel, again, Emmanuel is actually Castiel. Castiel is back! Yay! So him exploding into a river and only a trench coat, like there, which was heartbreaking for the first 2 episodes, just like that happens. So Emmanuel doesn't know who he is, but he's going about healing people, and Dean wants him to heal Sam. When he sees him, he can't believe what the fuck he's saying. He's like, holy fuck. He's randomly was found by a random woman who believes God sent him to her. Yeah. So they get married apparently. But he's still monotone, but he's a wee bit happier actually. He's less stressed sounding, less dictatory. It's probably all the snoo snoo he's getting, I bet he is. So Meg is there again, and we love Meg. We've missed Meg. She is brilliant, but she is back, and she still has issues. Well, Crowley has issues with her because she betrayed him. So her head is basically got a bounty, a ransom on it. So what she tends to do here is she helps the boys as much as she can with Castiel to protect him from everybody else, because everybody else is after him, demons, angels, everyone. So he doesn't know he's an angel. They don't want to tell him either, because Dean's trying to explain what could happen to him if you actually tell him. It could have the same effect as Sam with the soul in the wall. So he's trying to like not poke or kick the hornet's nest. Meg, the last he played God and then went poof. That's talking about Castiel. Meg wants to burn Crowley and she needs friends apparently. She puts her pet name for Amnesia Angel Clarence. She says that's what she always calls him, Clarence. Hold hands and cross the street together, Meg to Dean. Meg wants to jog Castiel's memories and Dean isn't happy about it. I think we're going to be good friends too. Meg to Castiel, Emmanuel. Dean refers to Meg as a friend, because again, explaining to Castiel at this point, or Emmanuel, who she actually is. But he can see demons. And that's the thing with Castiel. He knows the original Leviathan as well. He knows the original people who they are. He also knows if you're human or if you're demon as well. He has that ability of being an angel. The girl who's in the mental health facility with Sam was getting blamed for like burning her house down and stuff. It's actually her brother, and her brother is tethered to her. Her brother died. He's tethered to her because of a bracelet. Sam destroys the bracelet, and that's them freed from each other, kind of thing. So she can move on, he can move on. But still, Sam's managing to do all this. And he's still got Lucifer talking to him and trying to put him off. Castiel says you should have never broken down your wall, Sam. Castiel says that there is no wall. Everything that Lucifer's been doing to Sam in the time that he's been popping up. Little by little, he has been taking out bricks and disintegrating them basically till there is nothing. And that's why he doesn't understand why he can't sleep, why he can't do these things, and everything that's happened to him. It's because Lucifer was slowly disintegrating that wall. So he would have to endure the pain and trauma of his soul being in the cage and being tortured by the two angels and being tortured by Lucifer there and then. Meg poses as a nurse in the facility to look after Castiel so she can keep her angel closer because, again, at the end of the day, he's not full capacity because he doesn't, yes, he knows who he is, but he's also having issues because a lot has happened and it's a lot for anyone to take in. Castiel has put his hands on Sam, yes, as dodgy as that sounds, and transfers the red kind of hell-like entity that is Lucifer, and it goes from red in Sam to red in Castiel, and now Lucifer is in Castiel. He says, "Hello, brother." So Castiel is in the mental health facility with everything going on, and he has Lucifer trapped in him now. Episode 18, Party on Garth. Now, I told you Garth is going to be back in this season, and Garth has shown you in the recap what he's been doing and how badass of a hunter he has become because he absolutely loves Dean and he wants to be as good as Dean, obviously. So, teens are camping, as you do. People start to get taken out. Then you find out that it is a Japanese spirit demon that is showing up only when you're drunk. Yes. There is a ale called Thigh Slapper, and it is made by a team of men who are friends. And the brew maker, the guy, the brewmaster, the king, doesn't want to sell the company, but he is again shoved out. There's a whole lot of again 2 against 1 type thing. He's the creator of this. He's the creator that makes the money for his 2 other friends, but they kind of shove him out and they treat him like he's not this in the same level as him. So the alcohol spirit, the Japanese spirit, is going about killing the heirs, it seems, and everyone who is connected to the remainder of the team of this company. And the boys have to get drunk to see it, to take it out. It's really weird because it says no microbrew is worth 8 awards, and that's made me laugh because in real life, Mr. Ackles is the brewmaster, or he owns Family Business, which is a brewery. So he actually did go into homebrew like a lot of people have and make it a company. And Garth has drank a full beer. He is drunk. Garth has noticed that when the EMF is going off, it's when the hip flask is about, and he asks about it, and he said it was Bobby's. So that kind of clicks in his mind that Bobby is in that flask. Now we know that when they're drunk and they're taking out the spirit demon, you see a shadow and it looks like Bobby. So you can imagine when you're drunk, you see things and your brain kind of makes it up. Can you ever get drunk anymore, Sam to Dean? Isn't it like a vitamin for you, Sam to Dean? Shut up, Dean to Sam. All right, party, let's go. As the boys have got drunk in the office and the demon spirit is out. I am actually drunk. I miss these talks, Dean to Sam. Again, instant Swayze moment with Bobby. There's too many coincidences for it not to be Bobby, and that's what they're trying to actually say. Bobby says, "I'm right here, idiot," and then isn't seen by Dean. Then responds to not being seen as in true Bobby fashion. He says, at the end of this episode, Bobby's in the motel and they are mourning their actual father, the man who died for them and protected them and kept them safe. And Dean says, there you are. And it's the hit flask. Episode 19, Season 7 of Grave Importance. Again, all about Bobby in the recap, getting stuck between worlds. All he wants to do is protect boys even in death. Coincidences. Dean and Sam saying they miss him not being there. Dean and Sam eating from a taco place. I thought it was a burger place, but hey, I was wrong. Annie is another hunter. And you find out that not only has Bobby had sex with her, Dean has, Sam has, when he had no soul and he was having sex with everyone. So everybody's had a part of Annie. They've all dipped their pen in the company ink. Well done, boys. Creepy as fuck, but well done. Gotta get it somewhere, I suppose. Haunted house again. There's a ghost, a vengeful spirit that kills people in the house when you go in. Also feeds off of the energies of other spirits as well. Annie goes missing after she phones the boys because she's got some of Bobby's books and she wants to give them back. Now she dies in the house, no one she'll there, that's it. They find that Dick Roman has done more archaeological digs. Bobby's riding the back with the boys and they're unaware of this. Bobby's with the boys again and this must have been so difficult to do, acting like he wasn't there, but he was obviously. EMF is going nuts. It's in a fucking haunted house. What the fuck do you expect? Her phone is in the haunted house, and between Bobby and Bobby takes the flask and manages to like get it in the house so that he can actually help Annie and take out the vengeful spirit that's going about doing this shit. The guy who is doing this is called Whitman Dennis. The boys can see Bobby. This was just really, it was so sad. Wait, you can see me. Again, another way the boys are trying to get over the loss of him, and they see him again. I say that a lot again and again. I would be the same if you saw someone that you loved that's no longer here and you see them again. I know it's just a show, but this kind of shit at the moment for me is incredibly. It's fresh and raw, and when I see this, it still fucks me up. Sitting here with tears in my eyes, man. Because if I could see my mum or my dad one more time, that would just be exactly how they felt, put it that way. They don't want Bobby to end up a violent spirit, as this can happen, and they've all had to explain this at some point to a spirit that if you don't move on and you stay, that you're only hurting yourself and the people around you because you can't protect them and you can't be with them. But you can go to your favourite memory and live that forever so you don't ever have to be apart from them. The boys have a hearty heart on the drive back to wherever. Not the natural order of Bobby choosing to stay. What are the odds this will end well and Bobby still being around? They want him to be there, but it hurts, and I couldn't imagine it as it would be difficult for everyone involved to have to go through that. Supernatural, Season 7, Episode 20, The Girl with Dungeons and Dragon Tattoo. This is where they bring in a new character. Her name is Charlie, and she is played by Felicia Day, and you can remember her from The Guild. And she was also in Buffy as well, the last season. So recap, Frank's digging up things on Dick, trying to figure out what the Leviathans are up to and what they're planning. Bobby as well at the end, and death. Bobby appears to help, but scares the crap out of the boys, as him dropping in is hard to get used to. They're still figuring out how it all works. The numbers I gave you, Empty Lot and Cheeseville. The Leviathans are surveying and building as they speak. Silent Green Phase Biotech my ass. Where it's at a state-of-the-art slaughterhouse, which is for Leviathans, keep us compliant, fat, plump and juicy right for the hunting, and make us all into subservient happy meals for his buddies. Dick has bought 10 plus franchises of food places since the turducken place. He is also going to cure everyone of big diseases that make us sick. So it looks like they're all good to us, but they have obviously an ulterior motive that we wouldn't know about, obviously. Research Centre, they are engineering the perfect specimen. They are creating death camps all over when we are healthy but plump and ripe to eat. They can just walk right in. Frank has a failsafe on his drives that if obviously they are being tampered with, then everything would be deleted. Now Charlie, this Felicia Day is typecasted because she's an intelligent woman who plays video games in real life. She also does a lot of role playing, role RPG games. She's a big Dungeons and Dragons player, and she is always, I don't know about her, but it annoys me to see people typecasted for their hobbies and typecasted in everything. But it was really nice to see her in this other than the Guild and obviously Buffy, and she does many many other things now. But she works for Dick Roman, and she is obviously one of the techs that deal with obviously hacking and things like that. You find out that she's like a nomad, and that Charlie isn't the only name she's had to stay under the radar and things like that. She has had to adapt herself. So she gets into the drive and she finds a folder called Dick Roman, of course. She doesn't want to open it because Dick told her the minute she gets it opened that he wants to know everything that is on it. But in typical fashion of said computer enthusiast, she looks. And this is where your life turns upside down when you find out who Dick Roman is. Read all that shit, and especially the fact that she even admits that monsters and stuff are real. That's all real. The shit that I fight in games and things like that is potentially real, but I play it online kind of thing. She unlocks and decodes the files. It really makes me laugh, though, that she listens to Walking on Sunshine when she goes to work because she obviously is trying to be happy about going to work because some of the things she does obviously is questionable. So she starts, and she apparently sings when she's nervous. She has to flirt with a security guard in this episode. It's hilarious because she said she can't flirt with him because he's a man and she's gay. And Dean actually does this chatting the guy up for her, and she's got to repeat everything he says, but she repeats everything that he says. Because again, if you don't tell us not to stop, we will continue. So Bobby is again going about being vengeful as he does. He manages to put the hip flask into Charlie's bag because they send Charlie back in to destroy everything and get everything out that they need to get out. And she's also been embezzling from charities, you find out as well. They make a Lord of the Rings pun, which really annoys me again. Not everybody who is into that world is into Lord of the Rings, but hey. Bobby's like, you just can't walk up. They know what you look like talking to the boys, so that's why they send her in. Charlie didn't go home, and our colleague asked her if she wants some crack in her coffee, which is always fun. She sings when she's nervous, apparently. She takes a swig from Dean's hip flask. It's a family heirloom, so don't lose it. And also, it's Bobby. So she just really put her lips around Bobby. That's just, I'm not even going to, no. Let's just behave ourselves. Sam asks her Harry Potter character, who does she like the best, and she says Hermione. She kicks ass and is a real hero. So she's going to become Hermione. He was trying to help her to overcome her fear about, the things that are going to happen because they don't know what the fuck's going to happen. She's back in the office, she's slaying it. Dean and Charlie feel dirty for that interaction. I think we all felt dirty watching it, not in a good way. It's very cringy, actually. Charlie's on the PC and Dick's in the office. She has to go back in because she has to go into Dick's personal computer because his emails and his correspondence aren't on the main server. They're on a private one, so she has to go back in. They're up the piss out of Veronica Mars in this as well. Again, use another strong, intelligent teenager from a show as well. Please pick better intelligent stereotypes in TV, please. We're sick of hearing Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and now Veronica Mars. Something is coming here for Dick tonight, apparently. So Dick has managed to his people have infiltrated some of the staff in this company as well. Dean and Sam are not sure what to do, and Dick says he's been waiting for this for a real long time. They do kind of like a two-story type deal where they've got 42 minutes because there's a package coming at the airport for Dick, and they're trying to intercept it. So they do the story of Charlie in the office, Dick in the office, and then you've got like the boys trying to get there and the stuff they have to do to get there to prevent them from getting this package type of thing. When they get it, it's just like this red clay block, and like, what the fuck did we just like put ourselves in danger for this shit? Do you know what I mean? So they don't know what the fuck it is. Charlie's been confronted by Dick about their hard drive, and he asks her if she's looked at anything in it. She says no. He asked her, did it get cold in here? Because Bobby's in there, and she said because he'll get someone up to fix it, because he can't have Charlie, his star, basically, getting cold when she's doing this. The building has to be shut down, and Bobby has gone swayzy, and he's shoving everybody about. The boys have made a borax bomb, so no Leviathan is safe right now, because once that goes boom, yes, it will hurt them, but enough of it being close to the actual bomb itself would take them out. Not so fast, Dick, Bobby, as he goes insane ghost. The boys take Charlie and get out. He can't be killed, but he will. Charlie's in shock, and shit is going to pass out now. That's what she said. The red clay is something important, and Dick is freaking out. Charlie says don't contact her again, and Dean says keep your head down. Charlie says good luck saving the world, see you later, bitches. Dean says let's figure out what that red clay is and then sort out Bobby. So episode 21, at this point you think you'd be building up to the finale. I didn't feel like that this season. I don't know about you, but I didn't. Reading is fundamental. I am inside you. Is it just me, or is it just like the cage? Lucifer. Castiel / Emmanuel and Meg. The transfer between Sam and Lucifer. Castiel. Meg works in the facility, Cass is in, and Dick has his red clay stone. Boom. And now. So this is the first instance of Kevin Tran. He's a young, intelligent teenager who's got his whole life, everything in front of him, university, a bright future, and he ends up becoming a prophet. When the boys find out and they fuck about with the redstone clay, it is actually a little tablet with hieroglyphics on it. And this, when they activate it, it activates Kevin Tran and it activates pretty much everyone, including Castiel, because we find out it's a heaven tablet, an angel tablet, and there's two. There's devil tablet as well, a demon tablet, a hell tablet as well. But we're getting slight onto the future there. So Kevin is struck by lightning, and he's different. No shit. He needs to find this angel tablet. He steals his mum's car. He misses important meetings and stuff for him actually going to university. And when he gets the tablet that Castiel has dropped, by the way, at this point, it's in several pieces, he can't let go of it. He says, I'm sorry, but I can't let go. He physically can't let go of it because he's like totally connected to this because he's supposed to translate it. And remember what Castiel has said in the past, every single prophet, they know his name, their name. So this is another story that, again, has Chuck wrote about the prophets, has Chuck wrote about the tablets? We don't know because he hasn't released any more books. So there's that. Meg rips the piss and says, not a nurse, just play one on TV. Another dig at the boys being in terrible daytime sitcoms in real life, no doubt. Dick is calling Edgar, who is still alive, and he says, strange that someone would choose to name himself Dick, because this season is shit and they wanted to say the word as many times as they could as the lead villain, as it's the lead villain's name, and that's what I really think. So Kevin Tran can't trust anyone. When have you ever known to actually be able to go back to your life after being involved in the supernatural world, in the universe? No, don't ever fucking go back. You're not just putting yourself at risk, but everyone around you. You're basically putting their head on a platter for demons alike. Just walk the fuck away and just don't go back. This is the bromance is back. Castiel's in his trench coat. Castiel keeps talking shite about stuff like apparently the cat's penises are barbed and full of hooks, and female cats didn't have that in mind and they had no say in it. This is kind of shit that he comes out with. They're starting to talk about like Metatron. Metatron is basically the voice of God. He's the person who reiterates everything God tells him, and he's the one who writes and creates the tablets basically with all the information. The tablet that Dick is pissed off about them having has information on how to take out the Leviathans. There is a spell to take them out, and there's certain things you need: blood from a fallen angel, blood from a fallen demon, and I think they need something from a Leviathan as well. But again, this is just them putting this in place for next season. Meg is going to be delivered to Crowley as well as part of the arrangement because she again betrayed Crowley and was Team Lucifer. Castiel is at a dog track and he says that the dogs are unhappy because they're chasing a fake bunny. And then Meg tells him where they are and he shows up in the back seat, scaring the shit out of everyone. Castiel is like he's still monotone, but he's very calm. Lighter sounding monotone, but he's still there. Dean tells Kevin he is who they claim a prophet and that he isn't safe basically. Kevin wants to be the first Asian president. That's all he keeps going on about. So Meg hasn't just only betrayed herself and her people, but she's betraying everyone. She can't trust anybody because she's a demon, and demons do not trust anyone, and they do things for themselves and themselves alone. Not even the collective of demons, they do things for themselves, suit themselves. So when they actually betray anyone, I'm still flabbergasted that they are surprised at this. But hey, Leviathan beats Angel, and it's Edgar. Shouldn't have gone back home. Have they learned nothing from 7 seasons? So now we know that Leviathans can kill angels. Yes, didn't know that before. So a demon used an angel blade and he killed an angel because there's these two angels that show up and they're nuts and they hate Castiel. But we were told that only an angel can kill another angel with an angel blade. So heaven knows why that changed. But a demon took out an angel. It might be because the angel are not actually angels of the Lord technically, because they all went rogue and they kind of don't know their ass for their elbow and they don't know what the hell they're fighting for anymore. So I don't know whether that has changed or because the rules of heaven have changed. They've never really went into that. But it happens. So now we know the angel blade, if it's wielded by a demon and they can kill an angel, it doesn't have to be angel on angel. Once you're on an angel's, demons, or a Winchester's radar, then you're fucked. You must be on the run for the rest of your life or you end up taking your own life. That's pretty much what's going to happen. Or they kill you and they find you, basically. Episode 22. There will be blood. Almost. Finale time. Yet we've not had a build up. No build up. Recap. The Alphas, Purgatory, Dick Roman, Head of the Leviathans, and Bobby dead again. Vengeful Spirit, the prophets, one of them from the Heaven Tablet, how they can take out the Leviathan and what they need. Now, Dick Roman is on TV in an interview talking about how they're going to make everyone better with sweeteners, natural, organic produce, making people feel better, everything tasting better, not creepy at all. And guess what Dean finds out? All the foods have high fructose in them. He eat, including pie. Sam shows him what he can eat, and it's bottles of water, which again I wouldn't trust unless you boiled it first, and bananas. Again, pesticides, you never know what's in them. All his staff seem to be Leviathan, Dick's do. Dick introduces himself to Kevin. Dick is Kevin's biggest fan and gives him the Heaven Tablet. Edgar unties Kevin, and Dick is impressed by Kevin's intelligence. He calls their meeting a negotiation, and he starts talking about like good colleges and his future. Do you really think he'll have a future if he can read that shit? No, he does not. Kevin says he cannot do it, so Dick is trying to change his mind, and Edgar brings up a live feed, and it's his mother being tortured. Of course, he's going to do it because he loves his mother. Dean and Sam talk about the Playboy that they've read from cover to cover. Both of them, their dad's Playboy, which again, no hustler, but hey, apparently Dean has read it cover to cover, and so has Sam. They've read their dad's bath mag basically cover to cover many times. Again, creepy, cringy. No, we're going to move on now. Anna Nicole, apparently. So basically, their dad's wank mag or wank rag. Seriously. Bobby is here and he says, you got to bleed an alpha. That's what it is. Bleeding an alpha, fallen demon, fallen angel. So Castiel, the only alpha they know that's actually about is the vampire alpha and Crowley. But again, Crowley doesn't want his blood out out for anybody because many spells and summoning spells can actually destroy him. That's why he doesn't want his blood out there. I don't even think they need that much. It must just be like a drop or whatever. Can we trust Crowley? Can we fuck? By summoning him, he's a demon after all, and he is the king of hell. Crowley says he'll happily give them up, but after he cuts up Dick. There is a countdown on Bobby from being a vengeful spirit, pure hatred, no humanity, kill and possess people. That's pretty much going to happen to him. They're in the gas station and they're all stoned as fuck because the Sugar Corp war has begun. And if anybody's a bit aware of anything, when they're starting to change the food supply or any sort of thing that we ingest, it's already started. But they tell you later once it's already started because they can't stop because production's already started. Tricky, fly, So they go into this alpha's house and there's a little girl. Apparently she's a virgin and she's pure. And apparently they're a delicacy, virgin's blood, and she's fed through IV. So she doesn't have any sort of irregularities in her bloods and she wouldn't have anything damaging. She would be pure because it's everything she needs, the nutrient for her to survive. So we find out that the alpha's actually been in business with Dick Roman. Dick Roman, can he be trusted? No. He says to the alpha that they'll be in business. They'll be hand in hand, walking through the park, ruling the fucking world, blah, blah, blah. Humans are eating the Sugar Corp food. Remember we said fructose is in everything. Absolutely everything, especially in America it is. It's in everything. The vampires that were looking after this girl, the special one, I think, they start eating animals because they became sick eating humans. So they want to have all the humans to themselves, which again, the vampire alpha did not realize that this was going to happen. The boys tell him that did you think that he was going to basically to give you everything that you wanted, that you agreed on? Edgar shows up, and Edgar actually they have an argument talking about Eve, the mother of alphas. Edgar calls Eve a whore, makes her makes him really, really angry, as you do, because it's the mother. And then Edgar is taken out. The alpha gives Team the blood, even though he knows that he will be killed at some point. They needed a distraction. Sam chops off Edgar's head, so Alpha gives his blood to the boys. He gives his blood for taking care of Edgar, but the Alpha tells him, go with the little boy. He and what? No, thank you. Alpha turns round to Dean and says, see you next season, which is fighting talk. Bobby is gone. Just need Crowley's blood now. Dick has summoned Crowley, and he looks up and says, hello. Because he had long pause there for dramatic effect. So this is the finale, apparently. Does it feel like the finale? Does it fuck? Feels like we're mid-fucking season. But we are not, which is over 2 hours ago because I've been doing this podcast for that long time. So survival of the fittest, but hasn't got the same feeling at this point. By the time the season was midway through, it got well tiresome, and the season after killing off Bobby Singer, well, I forgot how much I hated him for doing that, and now we just got to carry on, my wayward son. And it doesn't match up, and it doesn't have the same feeling. Recap: Angels, Demons, Leviathan, World Domination, Heaven, Tablet, Crowley, Bobby, everyone and everything right where it should be on finale day, yet it doesn't feel like the finale. This season is the longest one so far, but let's see. Also, a lot of dick talk. I am prone to a lot of dick talk, as you know. I've got a mouth like a sewer, everyone, and a mind like one too. So, yes, we're going to talk about dick now. So, is it me, or is hearing the theme from Supernatural, seeing the build up of everything in Bobby and the death of Cass and Bobby and everything in Leviathan aren't the people you want to be on your side, as they seem to manipulate everyone for their own cause and not give a fuck? Lie, cheat, and steal to get to where they are. How do you take it? Dick to Crowley. Alcoholic. Crowley to Dick. Dick is very cringy, flirty. I prefer Crowley's method. He's very sharp and he has no filter. He's very similar to me, and that's why I think I like Crowley a lot, and I love Mark Shepard. I think he's a brilliant actor. Full immunity for demons in Canada, apparently, as long as they get the Americas, because that's the Leviathan's domain, of course. Dick doesn't kiss in the mouth, apparently. Would you really want to kiss him knowing what he's made of, really? Signing a contract. But Crowley has to double cross the boys again. But is he going to cross everyone? It's Crowley, of course he fucking is. Crowley is going through the contract with like a fine tooth comb, like he's wasting times, and it seems to be a turn on for Dick. Yeah, I said that. I like me a contract too. The more ancient ones are just the best. Not sure what it is, but it gives me all the good goosebumps, that's for sure. Meg is back with Castiel and he is listening to Don McLean and he's just so chilled out. And the facial expression Dean pulls because he's listening to Don McLean. Hey, don't fucking judge Don McLean. He's getting some relatively good songs. Nice chilled out music. Leviathan can kill angels. Leviathan have Kevin. Meg is there and Crowley is after her for betraying him. Castiel hands honey over to Crowley in a wee Ziploc baggie and says he picked it himself, basically he got it himself. He's off his rocker, he was never on his rocker, it's clear. Now he's just honest about it. Crowley keeps saying not to trust anyone, yet we have Sam on our team, so we kind of have a defective piece on that chessboard, don't we? Bobby has stole the cleaner's body again, and this is where he's getting crazy vengeful. Because his dick's in his reach. Ha ha ha. Yes, I realise what I just said. But Dick killed him and he wants to kill Dick. And save the boys from Dick. Yes, I keep saying Dick. Depends what Dick offered. A good time, Sammy. A good time. Sorry, all this overuse of the word dick is actually now annoying me. Sugar Corp meeting. They've already picked 3 states where they've been actually working already under the radar. Ohio, Wisconsin. Well, it's Florida. It's a bit crazy. So they'll probably fit right in there. Maybe people won't even be able to tell the difference between Florida man and a life in Florida man. Never know. Additive 3.0 is a serum that they have created that they're going to inject into skinny people through their skinny way of eating, like their half fat or their zero fat items, because in Dick's words, he doesn't want these types of specimens to eat. He wants the plump and juicy flesh of us with a wee bit of softness about us. Doesn't want skinny. What's the point? He literally injects it into this young girl who was actually with Kevin Tran being held captive. And then she ends up foaming at the mouth after he injects into her. And that's what he says. The additive 3.0 is getting put in food because it looks for the chains of DNA that they're not looking for and basically gets rid of them. They're actually pretty smart when you think about it, that they're actually trying to get the best food supply for themselves and they're trying to eliminate all the crap that they don't need, basically. So in this case, in this world, supernatural style, being Finn, they don't want you. So they want the plump and juicy people, they really do. Some with some meat on them. Bobby is going off his rails on his own crazy train. Yes, I quoted Ozzy Osbourne. He's went full on vengeful. You can see it in his eyes. You can. Bobby sees his own reflection and it makes him angry. Dick's made more dicks. It means that the original Dick they've had his DNA and they've created more of them. So there's hundreds of dicks running around, dick on dick, action everywhere. So we don't even know who the real Dick is. So see what I mean about the overuse of the word dick? Because Dean says a lot in this episode all about the dicks. Dicks everywhere. Dick, 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 dick. Castiel can't help, won't help, useless. Meg, you scared off the only man that can help the Empire. Again, referring to Star Wars again. Bobby says his revenge for Dick is like an itch when it's your time to go. If your dick is itchy, go see about that, Bobby. Seriously. No one wants dick itches. Or dick stitches, even. Bobby is finally gone and he's at rest, finally. And the flask gone. This was the boys getting more kicks to the fields, losing more, and now losing all over again. Castiel can tell who is a dick and who is the Dick Roman and who is not the Dick Roman that they're after. Castiel says he will do his best, which means he doesn't want to fight, but he'll help if he's the only hope, I think. Charlie said that Dick knows they are coming, so there's no element of surprise. Dick should know when he's coming or not, so shouldn't be no fucking surprise. Born to Be Wild is playing, and they're in Impala, and that is more like it for our boys, isn't it? Rocking out, man, with their dicks out. Sorry, rocking out with their cocks out. I had to. It was one of those things that was going to happen. So they're causing a chase, and they're trolling basically the Borax nation, and they actually drive through a sign at one of Roman's places. So they destroy Baby in the process, all for trolling them and getting their attention and a diversion in place. So heads off, and Borax loaded Meg is taking them out on Team Winchester for now. Dick reading at a conference table, and two demons have taken Meg, saying the King of Hell will see you now. Kevin said we have to blow up the lab to stop them killing skinny people. Borax squad, woohoo. Castiel's serious face looks like he sharted, by the way. Looks like he shot himself. Nice. Dean stabs him with a fake one because they've got this artifact that they have been working on with the blood that's from the ritual on the Heaven tablet or the Angel tablet. But this was a diversion, and Dick's laughing about it, thinking he's won. It was a diversion. Castiel holds the back of Dick's head. Yes, I said that. To expose his neck, and then the real one got shoved right through his neck. An almighty explosion, though, black goo everywhere, but he's laughing. Like he's enjoying it. That's how much these sick puppies are like. They just love the torture. Well, they've been stuck in purgatory forever, so they're basically enjoying it. Just a weird as fuck laugh because you see him imploding basically into himself. Crowley has appeared, and it's a god weapon, and he's taking Kevin, the prophet, too. Dick is dead. World save. Sorry, Moose. Sorry you can't help. You have a lot on your plate. Right now, you are well and truly on your own. What is that, yes? That's right. Don't trust a demon or the King of Hell. They are only out for themselves, and they will come back and fuck you up and turn everything around. And that is you. Screwed. Why are we not fucking learning this lesson? Why? Why the fuck? And they're in this kind of no man's land, completely grey. And Dean's like, what the fuck? You knew about this? You knew that we could possibility that we could actually be basically sacrificed and this would happen? And Castiel's like, well, you know what I mean? Again, he's a wee bit flippy floppy with the fucking, lore and stuff and shit like this. Is typical Castiel dick move. So they're in purgatory and they're fucked. Castiel is gone, yet Dean is left in the wrong place. What the actual fuck? It's a weird cliffhanger and a new storyline because they've taken out Dick. Dick is no longer the problem. Dick has been taken out. How will Sam get out of Roman's building alive? And how will he ever get Dean back? Because Crowley's put loads of demons in there and he's got to get his way out. And there's Leviathan in there too. No Bobby, no Granddaddy, no Rufus, no Castiel, no Meg, no Ellen, no Dean. Who will Sam turn to if he has to make it out there alive? Slim pickings, no one. Haven't the Winchesters gone through enough? And why purgatory? Did Crowley know about this? Did Dick? More to the point. What will happen to all that we have lost in season 7? What new characters did you like this season? What did you hate about this season? Was it the excessive use of the word dick? Or did you like the fact that they said dick a lot and made a lot of double entendres about Dick? Did you like Dick? Was Dick a character you liked? Did he make you all fuzzy inside, Dick? Let me know in the comments below. Who will you miss the most out of everyone we have lost? roll on season 8. Let me know in the comments below how you thought this season was. If you liked this season, tell me why. Did you find this season incredibly long? Did you find it anticlimactic like I did? Let me know in the comments below. If you like content like this, remember to go check us out in the Confessions from the Dark Side social media platforms, which are Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Buzzsprout. Let us know what you think on our social media, and let us get chatting about this topic, all the topics. Let's grow our community and spread how awesome the horror and supernatural community actually is. Come on, we have cookies, we're nice. Might not have cookies though, sugar-free substitute maybe. I'm going on deck now. If you want to get to know us as individuals, then you can check us out in our links below. I am Darcy Darkness, of course, and my channel is Behind the Mash Reviews, and I have a YouTube, an Instagram, a Twitch, and a Kick. Lunar has a YouTube and a Twitch and an Instagram, and his username is LunarXRising, all one word. If you want to reach out to us at any point to talk about anything or chat about supernatural or chat about the subjects that we're actually doing, or if you've got maybe you want us to look into another subject, since we have so many here in the horror, sci-fi, and fantasy community, you can email us at confessionsfromthedarkside@gmail.com. And Darcy, which is myself, is behind the mash reviews at gmail.com, and the spelling is on screen right now. I am not spelling it well. Lunar's is lunarxrising@gmail.com. And as you know, we have been without Lunar for a couple of months now, and he will be coming back. Not sure when, but we are again just getting ourselves back to where we were, make ourselves build ourselves even better than before, and hopefully when he does return, it will be like as if he's never left. I'm Darcy Darkness. That was Confessions from the Dark Side, Confessions from the Front Seat of the Impala, Season 7, discussion and breakdown. And I will see you in the next one. Later.